is 6 o'clock, so I think if everyone's ready, we'll get the meeting to order. First item then would be the minutes from our last meeting, page 1, from February 20th.
If there's no discussion, I'd make a motion to approve the minutes from February 20th, 2024 special planning board meeting.
And I second it.
Motion from Bill, second from Randy. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Carried. Okay. Suppose we should go to the informational building reports.
You'll see that the open permits that are there, building has picked up, and that's all due to weather. And I'm sure also people use some of their tax returns to do some improvements to their property. We issued the CO for Tractor Supply today, and the dental office at 155, they are moving.
The what, the Tractor Supply?
The certificate of occupancy, the CO.
Okay.
That was issued today, and they're talking soft opening at the end of the month, grand opening early April. The dentist office up on 55, they are moving in. So those are two commercial businesses that are busy right now. You'll also see the number of permits, evaluations of them. Those are all on page 19 through 24. And then there will be a meeting next Monday, the April 15th meeting. The next meeting, we are probably going to be reviewing the preliminary plat for the Furchie Solar Farm. They have gone through the concept plan. That was done in January, and they are ready now to submit their preliminary plat. So right now, it's going to be one lot with the two farms encompassed on one lot. So that is the status of that.
And just a quick question, Jennifer, just more for my education than anything else. On the 605 Joshua Flats final plat public hearing, I understand it's just a part of the process, but if someone, I'm just trying to kind of wrap my head around if someone was not okay with it, is that, I mean, are they almost too late in the process then, or what is the actual reason for the public hearing if we've already had public hearings on it?
So let me walk you just through a little bit of the planning process. The concept plan can anything from a survey with a large drawn out description to a napkin. And a concept plan is simply somebody has an idea and they want to know if the planning board and or the council will even look at this idea. Do they put any more time and money and effort into it before they submit a preliminary plat? The preliminary plat stage is the longest stage. That's where all the meat is done on the review side. MnDOT has to take a look at it. Stearns County looks at it. Stearns County looks at everything from the wetlands to the name of the plat, the name of the streets, all of that. Stearns County looks at. They don't want any street names that are too close to anybody else's names, so that 911 has issues getting to places, things like that. So that's the longest part of it. That's the biggest section. That's where all the work is done. And the final plat is, have they made all the changes that were suggested or approved or contingent upon approval into the final plat? Have they done what the council said? We'll approve it, but you need to show this on the final plat.
Okay.
So the final plat is a shorter stage than the preliminary plat.
It just surprised me then that it's a public hearing.
It is.
If it's stuff that we're supposed to be checking check their boxes, so to speak.
Yeah, so in the plating stage, it's all in chapter 30, and it's a number of pages long, but it actually lays out what we look at if they have it on there. Some we're willing to wiggle on, some we don't wiggle on at all. And then after this, after it goes to council, and once they approve the final plat, I can tell the developer they can order the Mylars, and those are, this plaque's gonna look exactly like this unless any changes are made, but they're made on a special piece of paper. Highly expensive, that's why we don't make them prior to the approval.
And what do they do with those Mylars?
So
I've
those-
seen those.
Yeah, so those are recorded. Those are brought back up to Stearns County. We have to write on them with a special marker. We used to notarize them. We don't do that anymore because the notary would just smudge. And then we call them shells, and they are, one official copy comes to the county, one official copy goes to the city, and I believe the developer gets a copy. And they're recorded. They're the life of that development.
So they're held in perpetuity somewhere, in
Yes,
some
yep,
big room.
Yep, and then we also request a smaller scale one, which is an 11 by 17 of that same material, because it's easier for us to make copies for anybody that wants the plat,
Thank you.
as well as electronic.
Thank you for the
And then
education.
after the final plat, they also have to, before we send anything up for recording, they have to sign the development agreement, pay parkland dedication fees, and then they pay any outstanding legal or engineering fees that were not a part of the final plat, the preliminary plat.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, with that, it's 6:05, a little past maybe, so we'll open up the public hearing for the Joshua Flats final plat public hearing. And I believe, Aaron, if you want to talk or speak to that, you can go up to the podium and say kind of the explanation for that. If you don't wish to, that's okay too. Okay.
So I would ask Jennifer, have they checked all the boxes? Have they done all the things that were requested?
They have, and I also want to state at this time too, I had 2 phone calls regarding the plat. People that had gotten the letters, they're within 350 feet.
Yep.
So there's a number of people that got letters. One was a neighbor to the south on Flanders Drive, and they simply wanted to know, what is this? So in layman's terms, Aaron is splitting a lot. And to do that with the meets and bounds, you have to plat it. And then they asked, well, what is it going to be used for? If I had a crystal ball, I probably wouldn't be answering the phone, but I told him it would be a commercial property, it's zoned commercial, so he's going to sell it for some type of commercial property. And they said, well, we've heard this and that. I said, there's 100 rumors out there on the streets, but to this point, no purchase agreement has been offered to Aaron, and there's nothing tying into any type of business. They were super good with that. I had a neighbor across Highway 55, Alden Park. Someone from the Alden Park just touches that 350 foot mark. They also called and wanted to know what that was, and gave them the same reasoning. Otherwise, I did not get any written letters or any written statements, just the 2 phone calls.
So at this point, the city doesn't have any other outstanding concerns?
Nope, and you had asked at the last meeting if they have to meet a certain
Yeah,
square
just
footage
curious.
or frontage. So they have to meet an 80-foot lot width, and the front is more than 80 feet, and 201. So, and whatever goes in there, which we've said at every stage, it is an odd-shaped lot. So whatever goes in there is gonna need to meet the setbacks, the lot coverage, the parking, all that. So it'll have to just meet that.
Jim, I got a question for you.
Sure.
It's a nice meeting for the public hearing. Was that published in the newspaper?
Yep.
Okay, so if we started before 6:30?
No, all the notices say 6:05.
Oh, I do, okay, because
Yeah,
here it says
just-
6.
I have the notices right here.
Okay, gotcha, I'm sorry.
Nope. They all
Okay,
say 6:05.
all right, just wanted to clear that up, make sure that we're not in violation of anything.
6:05.
Okay.
I have nothing further myself.
Okay, so there's no other questions, then a motion to close the public hearing, I believe would be in order.
I would make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Bill to close the public hearing, second by Randy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, so the public hearing is closed. Looks like we have 2 action items on the sheet here. One is to approve or deny the MnDOT road certificate and the Joshua Flats development agreement and recommend to council. Another one is to go through the report and recommendation regarding the application for approval of the final plat of Joshua Flats and recommend to city council. That starts on page 16.
So the first one is just a straight up motion, and the second one is more of a worksheet, am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
I'd make a motion to approve the MnDOT road certificate and Joshua Flats plat development agreement and recommends such to the city council.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion from Bill to approve the MnDOT certificate, second from Josh. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now we'll go into the report and recommendation, which is on 16. Most of the documents are prepared in front of you to read through, so I believe we can just start with kind of the findings on that page 17. We'll go down the order just like we've done in the past. So the planning board, having considered the requirements of the city code together with the proposed plat and the public comment thereon, finds that A, that the proposed final plat meets the specifications of submissions of a final plat set forth in City Code Chapter 30, Division 3, Section 30 through 104, or that the proposed plat does not meet the specifications for submissions of the final plat set forth in that same City Code chapter. Chair votes aye. Josh?
Aye.
Bill?
A, it would be
Or
A.
A, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
No, it's okay.
A.
I would vote A.
A.
Randy? Paul?
A.
Okay. Number 2, the planning board finds that the proposed final plat of Joshua Flats, A, meets the standards for approval set forth in City Code Chapter 30, Section 2, Division 3, Section 30 through 109, or B, does not meet the standards for approval. Chair votes A. Josh? Bill?
A.
Randy?
A.
And Paul?
A.
Number 3, the planning board finds that the proposed final plat of Joshua Flats, A, meets design standards required of City Code Chapter 30, Article 3, or B, does not meet the design standard requirements of City Code 30, Article 3. Chair votes A. Josh? Bill?
A.
Randy?
A.
Paul?
Also A.
Okay. So the last one, the planning board recommends that the city council A, approve the final plat of Joshua Flats, or B, approve the final plat of Joshua Flats with modifications, or C, denying the approval of the final plat of Joshua Flats for the following reasons. The chair votes A. Josh? Bill?
A.
Randy?
A.
And Paul?
A.
All right, and I think a formal motion then would be in order as well. Going back to the main action sheet
Page 3, I think it was.
on page 3.
I'd make a motion to approve the report and recommendations of planning board regarding application for approval of the final plat of Joshua Flats and recommend such to the city council.
And I second it.
Motion from Bill, second by Randy to approve the report and recommendation of the final plat to council. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Congratulations.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You're very efficient.
We tried.
You're done. I'll just be in touch on getting the development agreement and the papers.
Thank you.
Like in the next couple of weeks, we can get that done.
Okay. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good night. And reminder again, our next meeting is on April 15th, 6 o'clock.
Can I inject one thing, Jacob? Sure. I'm just confused, and Jennifer, maybe you can help me understand this. Is there something we're supposed to set up for the Wednesday meeting about, I was just kind of, I've never been through this process, so my own ignorance, but it talks about each board is requested to select someone from the board to write down.
So on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday in 2 days, we have our annual all boards meeting.
Yep.
The council meets with anybody, all the members of each board are invited. We meet at the Legion, we give you a light supper, and then each board meets just for a short time to talk about some things that they've accomplished, some projects that they've done, some concerns that they may have. when the planning board or any item or any members of the board that meet, one of the things you're probably going to talk about or report back to the rest of all the other boards or representatives that are there is that now you've approved the Joshua Flats final plat and you're recommending that on to council.
So all the boards meet at the same time? Okay, that's what I was trying to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and not all boards have a representative there. Some people can't make it. Some boards will have 5 members, some boards will have 1 member. And like Ron Mergen, he'll run from one board to the next because he serves on multiple boards. Paul Phelan serves on more than one board. He might jump from one board to the next to prepare some type of report that a representative from that board will tell everybody else what they've been up to.
So we don't need to do anything in preparation. That was really my question.
You do not. No, you do not.
Just show up for the meal.
The only thing you needed to do was RSVP.
I'm sorry.
The only thing you needed to do was RSVP.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you, Jacob.
All right, so then we'll see everyone Wednesday. Otherwise, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Do we have to reopen from the closed session? Or do we already do that?
You're already close to close.
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, sorry, Jacob.
So I got a motion from Herzberg, or Thielen to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned. Here we go.